No mai haere mai. Welcome to 3 News. A father and son have been identified as the gunmen who turned a Jewish celebration at Australia's most famous beach into a living nightmare. Over 10 minutes of pure terror, the pair fired shot after shot after shot at the hundreds gathered for the event as people ran for their lives or desperately tried to seek shelter. 15 people were killed, dozens more were injured. Police shot one of the gunmen dead. The other is in a critical condition in hospital. But the death toll could have been much, much higher if not for the incredible bravery of a passerby who wrestled a gun from one of the attackers. We have extensive coverage of the attack and reaction from both here and around the world. But first, we cross live to Bondi Beach, where senior correspondent Lisette Raymer is standing by. Lisette, we're 24 hours on now from the shooting. What's the scene like there now?
Well, things are certainly not as they usually are, Sam. The typically bustling Bondi is very quiet today. It is sombre, it is eerie. You might be able to hear the hum of the media helicopters overhead. They've been circling for most of the day, but really here it is quiet as people deal with a grief that really feels to be all-consuming today. There is still, as you can see behind me, a significant police cordon in place. There is also a significant police presence, not just the officers that you can see, but also an undercover police presence as all efforts go towards helping this community reinstate a sense of safety as they grapple with that very big question of how on earth did this happen in their backyard.
So suddenly, a beach day so familiar to so many turned into one so unrecognisable. 2 gunmen, a father and son, using long-armed weapons, firing from a bridge into hordes of happy people. An act of terror directed at around 1,000 people, gathered to celebrate Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights. The shell-shocked sheltering under benches meant for barbecuing friends and families as the bullets ricocheted around them. Amid the sirens, the sound of children screaming. It was around 6:45 in the evening and Australia's most famous beach and surrounds were packed for sunset. A day of sunshine and festive fun, interrupted by a sound most couldn't comprehend, triggering a stampede of beachgoers, the panic spreading across the beach like a tidal wave. Amid the horror, a hero. While others ran to safety, Ahmed Al-Ahmed ran towards the danger, pouncing on the 50-year-old shooter Sajid Akram and wrangling the gun from his hands in a remarkable show of bravery. But video soon emerged of Ahmed being held as he waited for help. His cousin today revealing he required surgery and is now recovering in hospital.
He's a hero, 100% he's a hero. He have 2 shots, one in his arm here and one in his hand.
Drone footage shows the other shooter, 24-year-old Naveed Akram, later standing on the bridge before law enforcement swarmed. Dozens of casings scattered around him, evidence of the volume of gunfire. Amid the chaos and in the heat of the moment, a man is seen running towards the body of the dead gunman and kicking him before being moved aside by police. The father dead, his son seriously injured and apprehended, and around them, carnage. The frantic mission to save as many of the wounded as possible, continuing under a haze of red and blue.
It was absolute chaos. We didn't know what was happening, where the gunfire was coming from. I saw blood gushing in front of me. I saw people hit, saw people fall to the ground. My only concern was, where are my kids? Where are my kids? Where's my wife?
15 innocent people have now been confirmed dead, aging from 10 to 87. The youngest, the bright-eyed Matilda Poltavchenko. 29 others have been taken to hospital.
I seen like a kid, like she was like maybe 8 years old, she got injured in the leg and she was crying and she was on the ground.
2 officers are also in a serious condition and an entire country is left struggling to make sense of the senseless.
It's a very sombre mood. It's strange. I think everyone's feeling a lot more connected than usual. It's sad. It's eerie almost.
Kiwi Tiffany Salmond was among the unfolding nightmare, just 20 metres from the bridge when gunfire first shattered the summer peace.
So I assumed it was a car backfiring, and then another one went off really quickly, and then a third, and I looked around and people were running, and that's when I started running too. There was a massive crowd all running like this way. It was just like a stampede.
Along with dozens of others, the Aucklander took refuge in the local police station.
I think the most terrifying thing was when the gunshots kept going off. It was very clear in my mind that this was a mass shooting where they weren't discriminating, and that was terrifying.
Christopher Luxon with a message of support on behalf of all of those New Zealanders at home.
Our thoughts are first and foremost with those who lost loved ones and those who were injured. Hanukkah should be a time of peace and joy, not of pain and grief.
While the Australian Prime Minister is vowing not to let this act of violence corrode the spirit of the country.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of anti-Semitism, an act of terrorism on our shores in an iconic Australian location, Bondi Beach. This was an attack deliberately targeted at the Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah, which of course should be a joyous celebration.
This is now Australia's second deadliest shooting, behind the 1996 Port Arthur tragedy, which claimed 35 lives and prompted the country to introduce some of the world's toughest gun laws. The horror didn't end with the gunfire. The agony extended as police dealt to several improvised explosive devices in the attacker's car.
When I ask for calm, that is really important. This is not a time for retribution. This is a time to allow the police to do their duty.
The Festival of Lights has been dimmed by anti-Semitism, but not extinguished. Night one of celebrations ended with a massacre that will scar this country forever. But this is a community bound in love, in spite of the hate that was thrown its way.
OK, Lisette, what more do we know about the father and the son gunmen and their motivation to carry this out?
Yeah, the details are slowly starting to emerge, Sam. We know that the 24-year-old was a recently unemployed bricklayer who had told his family that he and his father were off on a fishing trip this weekend. His mother today expressed immense shock at the news that her son was involved in this incident. She described him as a good boy. She went as far as to say he's the sort of son every mother wishes they had. She said he didn't hang out with the wrong crowd, he didn't smoke, he didn't drink, he didn't party, he simply went to work, came home and went to exercise, and that was the story of his life. But others are painting a very different picture. The family's neighbours today revealed that the family was slightly weird in their words and that they would never stop to say hello or have a conversation. We also know from police that at least one of the gunmen was known to police. Now, the details there are still fairly under wraps, but it has been revealed and widely reported this evening that the son had been flagged 6 years ago for a connection to the ISIS terror group, and it's now believed that both men had pledged their allegiance to ISIS with an ISIS flag found in their car following the shooting.
OK, Lisette, thank you for that update, and we will come back to you a little bit later on in the program.